First of all, just opening statement, a couple injury notes. Clarence Guidry and Hal Vincent won't play this week. They're both in the concussion protocol, so they'll be out this week. Going back watching the ball game, I thought we did some good things early in the ball game. I was really encouraged Sunday coming back and watching the film and watching our guys compete. I don't have a question that our guys compete hard in the ball game. So that's a positive. That's kind of like number one thing that we look for. Guys competing. I thought they competed. We didn't play with a whole lot of focus in the second half, but I thought our guys competed really hard. Again, you go out and you score 14 points early. You think things are going well. Then you throw an interception. You get a penalty on a touchdown punt return. You have some things happen to you that as a young team you have to learn how to overcome, and we are not at that point now where we can overcome those things. So how do you win the ball game? Don't have those things happen to you in the ball game. So we got to continue to get better at that. I thought our kids came back Sunday, worked really hard, and we're expecting to go out and have a really good practice today. Be excited playing a team a lot like us in Monroe. Kind of the same programs. Matt Viator, I had an opportunity to coach against him when I was at North Carolina, and he was at McNeese. Always going to be well coached, always going to be tough, always going to play with great effort. He's trying to teach the same things we're trying to teach here to the T. We both were at Sunbelt Media Day, actually not Sunbelt Media Day, but Sunbelt head coaches meetings last spring, and we both said, neither one of us want to play our former teams. Because they would beat us to death, and that's probably pretty true right now where we are in our program. So, but we're excited about going on the road and again playing a team very similar to us and trying to find a way to get better and move through the journey of the season. Questions?
Coach, you guys have allowed 20 sacks so far through 5 games, which is tops of the Sun Belt. What's been going on there? Is it an issue with the offensive line? Is Jones not reading the pressure coming at him right? Or how do you fix that?
You go recruit and you try to get better with helping in protection, which means you got to take somebody out of the route and put in the backfield to get 6 and 7 and 8 man protection to help them. We've got 3 seniors up there. We're not where we want to be as far as pass protection. One of the things you have to understand with pass protection also, if you get behind in ball games and you got to throw it all the time, then people pin their ears back and they exotic rushes and blitzes and those type things. And Tyler could help us a little bit about pocket presence. Some of them are on him because he'll slide outside the pocket some. Which we got to be better at that. But a lot of it's because we're having to throw because we're behind. If you're up on an opponent, you get a chance to rush the passer because you don't worry about the run so much. So we got to do a better job, obviously, of protecting all the way around, but there are some circumstances to that.
Coach, on offense, did you see some progress in the run game?
Yeah, I saw some, not enough, but we went back and looked at the tape and started looking at the things that we could have done better. And one of the things we were just finishing plays. Play 2 of our game, if our back follows his second puller, he's going to hit his head on the goalpost for a touchdown. But he doesn't. And we practiced that play so many times and had those same conversations in practice and don't do it in the game. Those are the things that are frustrating. So we've got to continue to just tie in the little details of doing things right that'll give us positive plays where we can keep drives alive. And that's kind of where we are as a team right now. You can coach, things in practice, but eventually guys have to do them in the game. And I guess that's the magic potion of coaching, get guys to take practice to the game.
You said a while back, and you've been consistent, that this season won't be evaluated strictly on wins and losses. We continue to see a bunch of freshmen, a bunch of sophomores playing in these games. Now that we're towards the halfway point of the games in this season, are those younger guys on track, making progress the way you like?
I think a lot of them are. There are varied degrees of improvement. I think if all you guys were at spring practice this spring and came out and watched us play, now you say, "Body made a bunch of improvement from what you saw in the spring." We couldn't take a snap in the spring. We couldn't protect anybody. We couldn't run a play in the spring. And same thing on defense. We couldn't get lined up. So we made a bunch of improvement. We've added a bunch of young freshmen to that group and newcomers to that group. So they're making, steady improvements and understanding what our standards are and what our culture's like. I will tell you this, we're not close to where we want to be, but we are taking baby steps every day.
We commented that we thought Griffin played well on Saturday.
Yeah.
He was dealing with injury issues.
Right.
As you looked at the film on his performance.
Yeah, well, Frankie plays with another speed that we don't have on our defense. And he's gotten better, obviously, from spring ball to now. And he was a pleasant surprise for us because, obviously he hadn't played any ball games because of the concussion. So for him to play with that kind of intensity and that kind of burst and speed and actually productivity in the game was good. Hopefully that continues.
Stephen Mayberry said he was worked last week on just getting started early, quick starts. What kind of things did you guys do in practice to kind of, was there anything mentally or things that you did adjusted in practice to get that quick start, unlike the week before?
Not really. We just, said, hey, we need to start faster. We need to start faster.
With Guidry and Vincent out, who are you looking at to step up in those positions? Probably Fitzgerald at outside linebacker, but who are you looking at?
Yeah, Teron actually started for us last week anyway. So, and then we'll probably put Kareem Berry in that backup role for us at Bandit this week. At corner, there'll be, we'll go out and work and see who will win the starting job this week between Jordan Easterling, Jashawn Waddy, and Andrew Aniki. Those three guys will have an opportunity to be the starting corner opposite Brendan McDowell.
What do you think a lot of people here are familiar with Garrett Smith?
Mm-hmm.
He played at Smithson Valley.
Mm-hmm.
ULM's quarterback, as you look at him on film, what jumps off the screen?
I think he's got talent. He'll fit the ball into some tight windows. He's taken some big hits. He's a tough kid, obviously, because he's taken some punishment and taken some hits. He can hurt you with his legs. It's not always pretty the way he hurts you with his legs, but he can. He reminds me a little bit of Connor White on our team. Just, a guy that kind of can get it done. It doesn't look good all the time, but he can get it done. I've seen him make some big throws and have some big plays down the field in the passing game. And then I've seen him throw the ball to the defender some. So I think he's a lot like – their offense is a lot like ours. There's some times that there's plays that you really like and there's some plays that you don't like. And I think he's a little bit of kind of the hit of that offense. But when he's on, he's on.
Coach, it's safe to say you haven't faced a style of defense quite like this.
Mm-hmm.
ULM lining up at 4-2-5. You faced a bunch of 3-4 so far this year, one time 4-3.
Right.
What does ULM like to do on defense?
They're going to move. They're going to get more of a bear look than a 4-2-5 look. They're going to be more where they're going to mug linebackers to create what we call a bear defense look, and they're going to bring pressure. They got pressure they bring from the boundary, from the field, internal. So we're going to see it all up front. I think they're a little bit like us. They have to move and game and blitz because of some deficiencies that they may have in the defensive front seven. So they're going to try to cause negative plays with pressure.
Safe to say you want to be able to run the ball again. You gave Stephen Mayberry 26 carries on Saturday. He ran the ball well. Do you want to see some more guys get involved in the running game besides Stephen?
No question. Again, we can't do it with one guy having 26 carries. That's not really what our plan is. We like to even it out some, and the more we can get Tyler Tutt in the game, the better. He's if we had to have a back that looks like what we wanted to look like, it'd be Tyler Tutt. So he's got to grow up and mature, and the reason he hadn't played a whole bunch is there's been some maturity issues with him. So we're gonna actually hopefully help him grow up a little bit so he can help us in that running back role.
I know you got the freshman, maybe he could look to mature, that can lead by example?
Jordan Eastling's played well for us. We're having to pull some things off of his plate because he's doing so much for us as a freshman. Aaron Brewer's, played well for us, played well last week as an offensive guard for us. And, it's taken Aaron a little time to kind of grow up also, but it was probably one of his better games this past week. So hopefully that helps Aaron mature and maybe some of those freshmen can watch those two guys, play as, at a high level.
Coach, a moment ago you mentioned Tyler Tucker being more involved. What I've seen is young running backs, sometimes it takes a while for them to get the concept of pass pro.
Yeah.
How is he?
That's part of it. If you can't protect the quarterback, you can't play at running back because you got to know the protections. And some of his maturity is just understanding what his job description is in pass protection. And so we got a job to do in teaching him the responsibility of protecting the quarterback.
Coach, I've got one final question.
Sure.
Obviously, you have a defensive pedigree. Look at your resume, your background. In college football, has offense gotten out of hand?
What do you mean, out of hand?
Well, just the points. Don't tell Coach Elliott I said this. But I don't know if you saw the scores on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can you play defense today?
Well, here's what I'll tell you about defensive football today as opposed to 15, 20 years ago. The goals aren't the same on defense. The goals are to be good in the red zone, try to find a way to increase, the number of 3 outs you can get in a half to get off the field, and how many turnovers you can get and give your offense the ball. It used to be, man, you got to keep them under 100 yards rushing and, 150-yard passing. And, if you were under 300 yards, you were playing really good defense.
24-21 was a shootout.
Yeah, that was a big-time game. That's not the case anymore. The tempo offenses and the way people spread you from field to field, sideline to sideline, 53 and a third, the game is played so much in space now. And with the advent of the quarterback run in offenses now, you're really short a guy, and you got to create a way to add that guy. And what happens is the more you start adding that guy to the run to stop the quarterback run, the more your corners and your secondary are on an island. So defenses are definitely at a disadvantage in a lot of ways. The way you help your defense is have a really good offense. That's it. That's the way you help your defense. People, it's funny, the struggles that are happening up the road. They're struggles across the country. They're not just in one spot, they're across the country. Everybody in America is having the same struggles. So it's just a matter of it's not the points. You want one more than they do. The point, how many times can you get your offense the ball with a turnover, red zone stop, and those type things?
On the game Saturday against Georgia State.
Obviously didn't go the way we wanted. We just didn't make enough plays on defense. Didn't capitalize on a few things we could have. And you got to give them credit, but, we just didn't get the job done. So.
How do you guys get more pressure on the quarterback? That's kind of been the D-line struggle this year.
Yeah, we've been talking about that a lot lately, but we've been working on some things in nickel, trying to get some pressure on third downs. We got to get some more pass rush from the interior, from me, from the nose, and then we're bringing those outside linebackers too. So I'm trying to find any way to get it.
One of the things that we've talked about with coaches, players who have visited with us, the team kind of having a slow start in the first 4 ball games, but the first quarter in Atlanta, things went really well. Did you sense anything in the lead up to the game, in pregame, where you thought the team was ready to roll at kickoff?
You could tell through the warm-ups that, we're a little more confident than we had been in the past. But like Coach has been saying, we got to learn how to play when we're being successful. We got to learn how to keep that going. So just some things we need to work on.
Did you what you just said, did you sense kind of a drop-off once Texas State got up 14-0?
I
Seems like on the sideline, or?
I didn't sense a drop off, but you could definitely tell the momentum swing, obviously through the second quarter. So that's just something we got to work on.
You personally, you were a linebacker and then you switched to the D line. How has the transition been for you this season?
It was tough at first, gaining all the weight in the spring, but I just learned the techniques and I'm kind of used to it now. So I think it's been going pretty well.
Do you like it? Do you like a defensive end compared to linebacker?
Yeah, it's a lot different. You have to know a lot less, but it's fun getting to try to get after the quarterback. So
Linebackers are smarter than defensive linemen.
yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but they definitely have to know a little more.
ULM, what have you seen from their offense?
I think they're pretty well balanced offense. We watched their offensive line yesterday, and they really come off the ball. So I think it's gonna be a challenge for us.
I look at their roster, and it's typical of ULM, even going back to the days at Northeast Louisiana, a lot of Texas guys on that roster. Do you have any relationship with any of those guys?
I don't personally know any of the guys, but I know a lot of guys even here that were offered by them, were recruited by them. So I think they try to get into Texas a lot.
The second half defensively, especially in the game, you guys got the turnovers. Didn't cash in on them, but from the defensive standpoint, what can you take from that burst of turnovers and defensive stops heading into this game?
Yeah, I think that's something to build on. Coach McCray's through the spring, through the fall camp, his big point of emphasis is turnovers. We try to get at least 3-4 every game, so I think that's something to build on.
First of all, how did you feel about your team's performance against Georgia State?
First quarter, I thought it was very well. After that, I thought as a team we lost focus to doing the little things that Coach talks about, whether it's getting a depth on a route, blocking a man, hitting a hole. As a team, we have to overcome that and pay attention to the little things, just focus more like he talks about.
Coming into this season, 2016, like every season, there were a bunch of questions from a lot of people in this room, myself included. And a big question was, who's going to catch the football? And so far, the receiving core, including yourself, have done well. How would you evaluate your performance up to this point?
It could be better, I say. Myself included with every receivers none of us have caught an FBS catch before this year. None of us have played an FBS game, so it's all new to us all. Job description. Coach talks about job description a lot. So as a receiver, make plays, catch the ball, block well. That's what I'm here to do.
You mentioned that first quarter and how y'all were doing so well on offense. How do you maintain that for the rest of the game going forward? I mean, you kind of showed that this team can do that. 25 plays in 2 drives. How do you maintain that?
Tempo and focus. I don't know. It's really focus, for the most part of our game right now. So yeah.
Focusing on execution.
Execution. That's all it is. Just doing the right thing.
You guys talk about having a 111 all the time. I know everyone had some drop passes and a couple of other receivers had as well. How do you keep the wide receiver core accountable for each other?
Well, we play for one another. So if somebody's down, there's somebody there right behind to pick him up. And our coach, Coach Fleming, talks about all the time, our receiver group's going to have the energy for the offense, so we have to come with it each and every day, every game, every practice. And we know what we're doing out there, so we just got to go out there and continue to make plays.
What have you seen from ULM's defense? As I know you still have some prep to do this week, but what can you tell us about that?
They're a lot like us, so cover 1 here and there, cover 3. So yeah, it's going to be a lot like our defense.
I think it's something, it's a handful of wide receivers, about 6 of them have between 16 and 20 catches on this team. Tyler Jones really spreading the ball around. What's it been like kind of play for him, kind of playing this offense that looks at all the receivers?
I like the offense, and Tyler Jones, phenomenal quarterback, best quarterback I ever had. He makes me feel like he makes me better. I could maybe a yard too short on a route or a little slow at my break, but the ball is always on point. So credit to Tyler Jones. He's a great quarterback.
Last Saturday was your first Sunbelt game. There's another conference game coming up this Saturday. Is there a bigger feel right out of the games and the practices as you've now entered into conference play?
A lot of trash talk, some I'm pretty sure we'll continue to see a lot of trash talk. The game speed's a little bit faster, and it's probably it.
Making the jump to FBS football like you've done, what is easier than you expected it to be? Because I'm sure there were some unknowns. Wow, I'm going to play FBS football, but what's been easier than you thought it would be?
Playing in front of that many people, like going to Arkansas, playing in front of 72,000. You know, JUCO, you only play in front of maybe a couple hundred to 2,000 max. And before the season started, I was calling my mom, I'm about to play in front of this many thousand people. Like, I might be out there nervous and looking at the crowd. Hasn't been an issue at all. Turns out I actually like playing for that many people. I play off energy, so yeah.